Okay, welcome back to the Flow of Life Tarot. We are in the energies of this lovely, gentle Capricorn full moon in Cancer season. And we are going to do what is probably the final stage of this series of the many paths. And these are the cards of the flow that came out, and we're going to focus on the flow today. So if you've seen the other videos, we were looking at these 3 stages with the vision quest, the shadow work, the light work that's being done, the integration, this moment in time now of many paths, this pause, this leveling up from 6 to 7, moving on to the flow, and here we have a progression of 2 to 3, 20 to 21. These cards came out together as in sort of past or recent past, where we're at now and where we're headed. And this came out, the Gatherer, as a bonus card with the flow. And you can find those other videos, I'll link them below. So it is the flow that we are focusing on today. Gosh, it feels like it's taken a while to get to this point. I'm not sure there's enough light. Maybe a little extra candlelight will do the trick. So we're focusing on the flow with this lovely big full moon in the background. So perhaps the reason why it's seems to have taken this long is because the reading was waiting for the full moon. There's already so much information with all of these cards, but really the flow is what we've been working towards, where we're moving forward towards next. And I want to focus on these energies. So let's pop these aside and really get into the flow. Look how she's working with the water and completely focused, much like the Capricorn energy. Water energy here. We're in Cancer season, and of course Cancer rules the moon. So this is the perfect card for the axis of the Capricorn full moon in Cancer season. She's essentially the queen of the water and the flow. So let's see. Start with the Wandering Star Tarot and get 3 cards for the flow. The intention is always set that this is for the highest good and greatest well-being, that you find this at the right time, the right place, the right space for your highest good and greatest well-being. Take what resonates, leave the rest. As always, trust your inner wisdom, your intuition, your own wisdom, your knowing, and your inner guidance. These messages are extra support or confirmation or clarification as and when they're needed. Okay, I'm going to do the 4 cuts for the 4 points of the compass. So we have 10 of Wands and Death. Wow. 10 of Wands, this card always makes me think of the burning witches. So death to the witch wound, death to the wounded inner feminine energy, and transformation and rebirth. Okay, cut 2. 10 of Pentacles and death, transformation. This rebirth is leading to the wealth and the abundance. need to cover her up. The World card and death. Yeah, this transformation and rebirth is a completion of a cycle, and I'm ready to start a whole new life journey, new cycle in life. As we get to 3, is that? 4. Page of Cups, new love coming in, new joy, fun, and it says magic on here as well. So the death, transformation and rebirth is bringing in fresh new love, a new heart, a new cup, refilled and replenished. Is that 3? I think that was 4, and I'm just going to do it one more time. One more shuffle. There we go. Okay. In fact, I feel like these are a slight distraction. I'm going to pop these behind so that we focus on this. I get 3 cards for the flow of this. The flow of the flow. Okay, that's 4. Strength card. The Magician. 7 of Cups. Wow, 2 major arcanas. Bonus card, 5 of Pentacles. Okay. You are starting to know your own strength and your own power, and you're starting to understand that. It takes humility to be able to tame a lion. It takes inner strength, inner self-control, inner wisdom, inner peace, inner harmony in order to have the strength and courage to tame the lion, which is the inner beast. Magician, the alchemist, working with all elements, fire, earth, air, water. Mastery of self. In the material realm, that means manifesting, creating the life that you wish. Okay, 7 of Cups, options, choices, but also ruled by Neptune, overwhelm and confusion. And that's why this extra card came out, 5 of Pentacles. Each of the different cups have different choices, different options. And if you've seen the other videos in this series, we were focusing on the many paths has been the title. And sometimes having all these choices, even when we've done all this work, can still feel overwhelming. It can be exciting, yes, but it can still feel overwhelming. It can still trigger worries, fears, anxieties. You know, if your nervous system isn't ready for great wealth, then you will always fear losing it. So even getting that great job, that increase in your paycheck, I don't know, winning the lottery, even then, you know, perhaps more so something like the example of winning a lottery, it can trigger and activate unhealed wounds, fears of poverty and loss and struggle and hardship, or even just memories of that. And as such, that can be what becomes an overwhelming fear about managing those resources or losing those resources, or the fear that comes with how that changes one's life, relationships, everything. So I feel this is about being mindful of those parts of the shadow work, and I'm seeing that with the snake, that are still there, still perhaps tucked away. Even something that might seem great, or that glitters isn't gold, can still lead to paths that we don't want to go down, that we've already been before, and we want to be done and finished and over with them. It's funny, the cups are labelled. We've got one here that's extremes. So it is the extremes of great abundance and great poverty. It's a balance. It's an access, isn't it? It's duality. It's hot and cold. We've got passion, choice, instinct. Here, this cup is full of gems, pearls, rose of passion, rose of love. So yes, 2 major arcanas in a great place. You know your strength, you know your power. In fact, yeah, these cards have words, don't they? Courage, strength, control, power, action, skill. Okay. So there's still a little bit of shadow work to be done. And the full moon is the perfect time for that release, because the moon reaches its fullest expression, reflecting and radiating light. And we can release and let go. And it's also an opportunity to do more shadow work. There's always... Oh, look, bottom of the deck, the moon, of course. And you can see perfectly how this mirrors this card with those colours. You've got the blues and the yellows of the moon. So yes, this is a moon card and being in the flow, and it takes that determination and strength and focus. It takes that courage to wield the power of the water, like the magician, like the master. And I feel this is a gentle reminder that the things that can cause problems can sometimes be the things that we think that we want the most, but actually might trip us up. And you need a lot of focus to wield that power and that water. Have you ever tried to hold the tide? Have you ever tried to stop a waterfall? Yeah. Tsunamis are a nature of force, so we need to be in harmony and in flow with nature if we are able to live our lives in harmony on this earth. Gosh. Okay. Right. We're going to get some Rider-Waite-Smith. I want to get some information about this 7 of Cups and the 5 of Pentacles. I might come back to this. Bottom of the deck is Emperor. The deck's already been shuffled. I'm going to do 4 cuts for the 4 corners of the compass. Juggling, balancing, 10 of Wands, working hard. So there's something about strain and overdoing it and juggling, finding that balance, right? Okay, then we have the moon again, and the 2 of Pentacles. So juggling, finding the balance with those fears, feeling the fear and doing it anyway, acknowledging the fears, howl at the moon, embrace the fear, and keep going forwards anyway. Use the light of the full moon to illuminate the corners of your shadows. the areas that still require attention and healing and being held with compassion. Okay, number 3. Page of Cups, yeah, and 2 of Pentacles. Finding that balance with compassion and with love, as you would with a young child that's still learning and growing. Find that compassion for self. 3 and I think a 4. And there we go. An even bigger cup of love. Being carried with love through this process of finding that balance. Knight of Cups carries you forward with love and peace and humility and clear thinking. We always think that the wings on here remind me of Hermes or Mercury, the winged god, and one of the only gods that could traverse all realms, including the underworld and death, without having to die. Okay, so what do we need to know about this 7 of Cups? What's the advice, the guidance, the support? 7 of Cups. I mean, they're 2 extremes, aren't they? That's sort of in the Rider-Waite, you see like a shadowy figure looking at these cups, slightly overwhelmed. So it's ruled by Neptune, and this is, it can be dreams coming true, but with the 5 of Pentacles, this is the concern that there's a warning there about the shadow work that needs to be addressed. Yes, you want your cups to be full and overflowing, but you don't want to then be living in a state of fear of always them losing the cups or running out or spilling the cups. Yeah, Ace of Swords, getting stuck in the head, but that's literally what this is. That's just showing how powerless these things really are. She's bound by what just looks like loose bindings. It's not rope, it's not tight, it's just almost like paper that she could tear off very easily and release herself from. And all this red in the card, and even on the ground she's covered in red. I would suggest that the way to get out of this stuck headspace and stuck thinking and these worries and projections is to become very grounded. All this red, she just needs to be grounded. She has 1 foot on the earth and 1 foot in the water, so that's also allowing emotions to flow. But in order to get stuck out of the stuck thinking, stuck pattern, get grounded. Anything else about this? Cups, Pentacles. Yeah. And look, we've got the Magician again. Okay, remember who you are. You don't need to get stuck in these cycles. This coming out twice. 78 cards in each deck. There's 80 cards in this deck. There's 2 extra ones. So the chance of 2 Magicians coming out is someone can do the maths on that. Yeah, self-sabotage, sabotage behaviour. These are the kinds of energies that you need to be aware of in order to carry this flow and hold this much power. She's wielding this sphere of water. And even he's wearing red with the purity of white inside. So being grounded. because really that's what you're going, this is what all this water is about, is filling all these 10 cups. That's what the goal is, keeping an eye on the actual goal. Acknowledging the fears, acknowledging the worries. Acknowledge them, but remembering who you are. Getting grounded, breaking free, focusing on what it is that you do want. Yeah. Star healing. Another major arcana. 1, 2, 3, 4 major arcanas. The moon here as well. Another major arcana. And this is actually a more gentle way. You see how she's holding this water with complete focus and exactness. And here the water flows gently. She's nourishing the earth and the ground. So this is a reminder to bring that gentleness, that peaceful flow and harmony into your thoughts, your feelings, how you hold your feelings, how you hold space for yourself and others, in your actions, bringing compassion and gentleness to your actions. And of course, Aquarius energy is very, Uranus is ruler of Aquarius, has just moved into Gemini. Capricorn was also one of the traditional rulers of Aquarius before they discovered Uranus. And we have this Capricorn full moon, which are the energies that surround us. It's a very peaceful full moon. Is there any other? Yeah. This is what you're going towards. Happy home, steady foundation. Keeping focused on what you do want. Acknowledging the fears, but don't get distracted by them. Don't get stuck in your head. Yeah, if you need to be, go inwards and use the light within, the hermit. Draw yourself and gather your energies inwards. Look at the power that she takes. She has to draw inwards before she can push the energy out and direct it. Okay. I'm going to see if there's any cards we need for the strength card. This, yeah, the Sun, another Leo card. If you've watched the other, this has come out quite a few times in the other reads as well. The Sun, a lot. One of the most joyful, positive, abundant cards in the deck. And the timing is we're going from Cancer season into Leo season. This is double Leo confirmation. So call upon your radiant solar energy, and wherever you have Leo in your chart, maybe look at where that's placed, which house it's in, even if you don't have planets or angles in the chart of Leo, in your chart. Have a look at where Leo sits in your charts and look at that house. It could be your second house, it could be your 8th house, it could be your 10th, your 9th, your 6th, whatever house is ruled by the sign of Leo. Perhaps bring attention to that. It is the natural ruler of the 5th house. No, it is the natural, yes it is. It's the natural ruler of the 5th house and natural ruler of the sun. And we're in Cancer season, which is the natural ruler of the 4th house and the moon. Leo has this big, warm heart that embraces everything. So focus on your warmth and your loving heart. Let's see if we get something for the Magician. And it's funny, as I was shuffling, I was going to say that also this, you know, it's going inwards, it's that inner light within, but also that lovely radiant solar light of our shining, healthy ego self and also the higher self. So the support is there from light. one card for the Magician here. Wow, Empress. Bottom of the deck, Nine of Pentacles, and the Empress flew out. And it's funny, yes, because she's it's a woman, it's a feminine energy. There's a Magician in this deck, and the Empress is, I guess, the ultimate manifester. She is the fertile Mother Earth, the creator. So yes, we had these cards coming up about being mindful about worries, thoughts, fears, getting stuck in the head, any patterns of sabotage, self-sabotage, being mindful of those, being mindful, right? But then focusing and remembering who you are, drawing on your skills, your wisdom, your power, focusing on what it is you do want, remembering what, you know, what it is that you want in life, and going inwards when you need to. 1, 2, 3 major arcanas from this deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major arcanas. That's 8 major arcanas. And what do we say? Yes, the Nine of Pentacles is the ultimate of independent self-reliance. Maybe in terms of things to release, just looking at any old patterns hung over from kind of codependency, just things that might be, you may have thought you've dealt with, but they might be just tucked away in little corners that need clearing out. That's lovely. I'm going to see if we need, yeah, so underneath the moon, we've got the Fool, stepping forward in freedom. We've got Judgment, complete release, and awakening. The Tower, it's that divine inspiration. We've got this all-seeing eye. And of course, like I said, we've got Uranus has just entered Gemini. Time of recording. And there's Ace of Pentacles, fresh new start. Look, the Hermit's there again, showing 10 of Cups. That's what we're aiming for. This, you know, and the Four of Wands is there. What are the chances? These are the cards that have already come out in the Rider-Waite. We've got the High Priestess, and I'm not surprised that she's here. This is so powerful. Yeah, I haven't really enthused, but it's just so powerful. I'm going to draw, in honour of this lovely full moon energy, I'm going to draw one of the Moonology deck cards. And just as I was starting to shuffle, we've got at the bottom, New Moon in Capricorn. Your hard work is paying off. So this is saying, well done, and look what's coming. Keep going. Keep doing the shadow work. Have faith in your dreams. Waxing crescent moon, that's beautiful. This is such an innocent and beautiful card. I'm just going to pause a sec. Okay, I've got the booklet because I thought it'd be nice to read this. The attunement with this card is, I'm focused on what I want. Okay, this is quite interesting. So, have faith in your dreams. Don't give up. The situation you're asking about is still taking shape, like water, right? You're nowhere near the end of the story. Whatever is happening now is just a step along the way. As they say in the self-help classics, everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. However, the waxing crescent moon card is a reminder that you must still keep working towards whatever it is that you want. If you can't take practical steps, spend time meditating on the question you're asking about and allow your higher self to download information to you about your best next step. Overall, this card suggests there is every reason to be hopeful for a very positive outcome to the situation you're asking about, so keep the faith. I mean, yes, there's all these major arcanas. This is phenomenally positive. see if there's a couple more cards to go with this. I wonder if the Capricorn full moon card would show itself. Too many cards. Okay, okay. Another one. Let's turn this. You were good enough. Okay. And that relates back to the Seven of Cups and the Five of Pentacles and the Eight of Swords, sense of self-worth. That's why all these major arcanas have come through, to remind you that you are worthy of your dreams, you are worthy of all that you've ever hoped and dreamed for, and all that you've been working towards. You are worthy. That's why we have the Strength card, that's why we have the Sun card. That's why we have the Ten of Cups, that's why we have all these major arcanas. So hold any worry or doubt or fear or any feelings of unworthiness, hold them with compassion, hold them with that water. Even if you're not watching this at the time of recording, tap into that nurturing energy of the Cancerian waters, and the strong frame of the Capricorn energy that provides the structure. Together they're on the axis opposite the wheel of astrology together, and they also support one another when both in their healthy energies. The Capricorn energy is ruled by Saturn, which is structure and form and grounded, and that holds space for this nurturing water energy. We've got earth and water in that, and this is another earth card, so it's grounding that. See if we get another card from the Wandering Star Tarot. We already saw so many fantastic cards there. Okay, so we've got this Page of Wands, a spark of creativity and joy, and having fun with it. And the words, we've got communication, good news, Page of Wands, that's exciting. Fire. Reminding yourself of what sparks you, what lights you up. All you need is a tiny spark, and you can set the whole world on fire. Ace of Cups. Hold it with love and with peace. Hold that spark with love and peace. I've just got an image of when you float the candles on the water, and you have this beautiful balance of all these reflection of light on the water's surface. The waters of emotion can hold the spark of genius and allow that light to reflect, just like the moon. Okay, got the Emperor energy and the Three of Wands. The wise owl on his shoulder guiding him. The Emperor is often associated with Aries. This looks more watery with this blue and white. Actually looks like a Greek god. Three of Wands, new adventure. It's that spark again. So much is being asked of you right now. And because there's so much to come, remember the spark and the fun, but embody the structure. Again, that's another good example of that Saturn and Cancer dynamic, this strength and structure, and this time with the fire and inspiration. This has become quite a long reading. Is there anything else to support this? There we go, the Fool, which we saw earlier. Yeah, stepping out, being brave, taking that risk. And look, she's got this lovely full moon behind her. It's just so much confirmation of positivity. And we've got the Two of Wands as well. It's making those plans to get going. Remembering what it is, who you are, where you've been, where you've come from, where you're going. Remembering that spark and that fire within. Wow, okay, really interesting, beautiful. So that's the flow. I hope that helps. I hope that's interesting. I hope it resonates and connects. Feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe. Yeah, how did this resonate for you? Let me know. Okay, thanks.